Welcome back. I'm back. Today we're going to be doing a transmission, drain, and fill. What is that? What does it mean? We will get into that shortly. But it's going to be a little bit different, so stay tuned. Today is a little bit of a different day for me, of course, as I'm filming a video. I'm also up extra early. I'm up unlike what I'm usually comfortable with, and this is gonna have to be a process about restarting or getting into a new rhythm. But the whole point I'm trying to make is you have to change gears. A transmission also has gears. So how do these two things relate? Well, first, we're gonna have to understand and know what is a transmission. As many of you may not know, what does it do? But as you'll soon find out, it is one of the most components of a car, and in your life, it may be more important than you think. Well, funnily enough, a transmission is just like the gears you have on a bike. But every bike is different. Some have 3 gears, others only 2. My car has 5. But how many gears do I have? How many gears do you have? How many gears does your car have? Can't tell you. But there's something to know about the gears on a transmission. Deep below the air intake, the battery, there is the transmission. And every gear in that transmission has a purpose. But some of them begin to ruin and fade faster than the others. My car, having the 5 gears, I can tell you that the third one is messed up. It's a little bit wompy and clanky, but that's something we can fix, and that's something we're going to address. Just like the engine oil in your car, it needs maintenance. It can be replaced. It's got fluid. It's not some rigid thing that just works forever. It requires maintenance. And if you don't understand what's going on, I'm comparing the transmission to something in our life. Let me explain what a transmission is really quickly. So transmission, just like on a bike, has those 5 gears, and you can downshift to increase the RPMs. But what does that even mean? So when you start your car, you're in first gear. RPMs are high. There's the most potential, right? You can spin the gear the fastest. So if it's on a bike, it would be the first gear is the smallest gear, and you can put as much power. And if you think about when you're pedaling on the bike on the lowest gear, you know that you can just keep pedaling and pedaling, but at some point you're burning so much energy and you're not moving, which is why then you upshift into second gear, and in second gear you have a little bit more traction, third a little bit more resistance, fourth the most resistance. At some point, you're going to get to the last gear. And that's exactly how a car transmission works. It's got gears, but they run dry, they run rigid. And what does that mean for our life? Well, if I think about it this way, today, I didn't want to get up this early. I had to get up for a class where we talked about culture and cultural diversity, but as a curious person, I know that stuff wasn't extremely relevant. Usually, I would have then just finished the class and then gone back to sleep, as hoping that one day I wouldn't have that class to disrupt my sleep. But instead of sleeping, I finally got to the point where I was sick of the monotonous failure of the same thing day in and day out, same routine. I knew I was capable of more, and I was tired of the failures I was seeing. And so ultimately, I changed gears. Are you seriously kidding me right now? Free truck. So I decided I'm going to change gears. I need to change the fluid that's inside of me that's going wrong. I need to reframe completely. And so here I am with the jug, my car, on a morning earlier than I'm used to. But that ended up being the change that I needed. I just had to send it. I just had to be trusting of the process, and turns out the day that I do that is a beautiful day. the last warm day of the season. So my message there then is, if you're in a place that you don't know what to do, you're stuck in the same old, change gears, try something new, get up earlier, go to a cafe and just sit there. I know it doesn't look like much, but that thing right there, this black bottom pan thingy, is a transmission pan, and we need to undo that bolt. That one right there. And out will come the fluid, and it'll be time to replace. Now, as I went to go look at that hex sort of drain plug more closely, I was like, that's not your typical thing you have on a ratchet. I mean, a ratchet usually has a square. So I went to the toolbox and I was like, maybe I have that tool in the bag, and turns out I do. Who would have thought in this array of tools I would have had what it takes to do this specific task? But you never know in life if you have the tool in the bag to complete the task. And so one thing I want to share that's interesting about a transmission, and it's just good to know, there's two types of services you can do for a transmission. The first being a drain and fill, where you fill the car up after draining the fluid that comes from the pan with transmission fluid, which looks, if I can get it, a little bit like that, except not like that. And the second being a complete transmission flush, where all the fluid in the transmission gets flushed out and completely cleaned. And so the interesting thing about a transmission is, it needs a little dirt. And what I mean by that is, like, as the transmission gets used, the fluid gets dirty, and it actually uses the dirt as grip. I could analogize that to us having experience in life, but, I'm not going to make it that complicated. But the grip is then used, the dirt is used as grip, and this transmission works for a little bit of time until it starts getting clunky, like I said. The one tricky thing, though, is for drain and fill. To do it at home, you need a dipstick, a transmission dipstick. Not your oil dipstick, a transmission dipstick. And that's because you're going to need to fill the fluid from somewhere. It's not like an engine where you put the oil in right there. It has no opening, and that's usually why you have to go to a mechanic to do it. But if you have this glorious stick that only goes up on to older models of vehicles, then you're in luck. But let's get to draining. And there you can see and hear the transmission draining. I'll show you the drain plug first and show you that it's a stubby fella as opposed to your oil drain plug. But here's the interesting thing. It was pretty stuck on, and I couldn't really remove it, so I needed a longer tool. I asked 5 neighbors, 5. One of them barely spoke English. One of them was so frustrated to see me and almost wanted to kill me. The other one, I went into his garage and he opened his drawer full of guns and knives, and we laughed about it, and he handed me his tool and tried that one, and that one didn't work. And then I went to another neighbor. It was something else. But what it ended up doing was actually very interesting. This and this. And I used the other wrench like that, and I created this level of leverage that shouldn't have worked, but did. And the moral of the story is, just like how we had this tool here, you may also have other tools in your bag that when you combine them, you can be successful. But I'm going to quit yapping, and I think in this whole time of trying to get that thing undone, I kind of figured it out. The analogy I was trying to make with the transmission and us. In life, you might move and change your environment completely, and that would be the transmission flush. You get a completely new environment, a completely fresh start. Kind of like if you want to try and imagine it, you go on vacation, you come back, you see things in a different way. But this is, unlike a vacation, it's a more permanent change. That's why I say moving. But we're not used to this drain and fill method. No one really does it. I mean, it's not like your go-to maintenance. It's quite niche. but it's still something you can do. Not only on your car, but in real life. You can choose to say that, I'm tired of this rut that I'm in, and you completely fresh start. And that means you have to take a risk. That means you have to go talk to the 5 neighbors and expect absolutely nothing from them and fail and then somehow figure it out on your own. That is the crush washer that goes on there. You know where I got this from? I walked into Toyota and I said, hey, I need a transmission crush washer. And they said yes. So sometimes in life, it's about seeing what you can do to get your solution, to get to the end product. This is transmission fluid when it is extremely bad. It starts off pink, pinkish reddish, smells like fish, or smells very pungent. And then it gets darker over time, and so that's pretty dark. So let's hope that we still have enough friction left in the transmission to do a good job. And yeah, forbidden grape juice, anybody want? I am too scared to try and pour this while holding a camera into this funnel, which is like that. So I'm gonna, show you when it's done. Right, so funnel is out, fluid is all done. We're ready to close the hood. There's all 4 bottles. And now you just have to start the drive sequence, which is essentially you throw it in a bunch of gears and all this stuff. But the one thing I want to say before I take it on a test drive and maybe talk to you a little bit is the fact that if you have a dipstick, try it. Honestly, you might screw up your car, but that's what I'm saying. Do the research, but don't be so afraid. Obviously, if you haven't even done an oil change, start with an oil change. But the whole point I've shared in this entire video is extremely relevant. But besides that, let's make sure my car is not broken. Disable button. Dude, I need to drive. And that's a high to crash. Somebody help! So, I didn't die. I'm home. Got into every gear. And we're good. And I just checked the fluid levels on the dipstick. And you probably won't be able to see it, so I'm not going to show it. But it's on the money. Okay? It's on the money. We did it. That is exactly why you don't let fear control your life. You change gears. You do flushes. But no, seriously, I hope you really enjoyed this video. It's a new style of content I'm going to try and do. It's inspired by Sneeko, a great YouTuber who has very good artistic vision, and so I hoped to replicate it, and I also loved editing, so I feel like this is going to be a challenge a little bit to make this fit nicely, but I really do hope you guys enjoyed it. That's my Highlander. And this is, whose car? We don't know, but stay tuned. Thank you for listening. Good luck, and take care.